Assalamu alaikum. In today's episode, I wanted to talk about taking off the hijab and how many girls have been doing this recently. And I want to talk about it in a loving way because it just seems like it's become more of a trend now. But I'm not here to judge anyone, but I really just want to encourage any sisters that are struggling and just explain to you why you should keep it on and encourage you. And it seems like now it's not even just the hijab that girls are struggling with, but even covering parts of their body. And basically girls are wearing things that are more revealing and showing parts of their body that should be covered. I understand that, there's different trends and everyone around us is like changing according to the trend. There's a lot of pressure to keep up, but we really need to pause and reflect as Muslim women. I completely understand that, especially in today's world, wearing the hijab isn't always easy. There's a lot of discrimination and people are always judging you. I know that there are many girls that feel like they have to take off the hijab, or they feel safer to take off the hijab than keep wearing it, because there is so much judgment for hijabi women, especially when they are in public and on social media. There's many people that judge such women, and they just tell them that they should be a certain way or that they are not following Islam properly, so they should take off the hijab. And so they feel like that pressure that, yeah, maybe I should because I'm not a perfect Muslimah. But that's not the case. Like, you have to stay strong. Try your best to ignore such comments, because at the end of the day, you have to remember that you're not wearing the hijab for them and to please people. You are doing it to please Allah, and you're only showing it to Allah because Allah has commanded you to do so, and that is why you're doing it. But remember the purpose of why you're wearing the hijab in the first place. I also know that many of these women who take off the hijab, they say that we need to fix ourselves first and become better before we start wearing the hijab because we're representing Islam. But keep in mind that nobody's perfect, and even the women who wear the hijab, are you saying that they should take it off then because they're not perfect? Like, nobody's perfect. Nobody can ever be perfect. But what we're doing is trying to strive to become better, and that is what Allah wants. Allah never said in the Quran that become perfect first and fix all of you first and then start wearing the hijab. No, it's just a general command that every Muslim woman should wear the hijab and should cover herself. And Allah sees our efforts. If we try and wear the hijab, then Allah will help us to grow spiritually as well. Remember that hijab isn't a trend, it isn't a cultural thing. And also remember that when Allah is commanding us to do something, is because He's wanting to protect us and wanting to honor us and elevate us. So we shouldn't treat the hijab like it's something small or optional, or like wearing the hijab is my choice, like as some women say, because it's not. It's a command of Allah. Allah has ordered you to do so. Now, there is a very important hadith that not everyone may be aware of, but it is basically talking about how, to the nearest meaning, a woman who does not wear the hijab will not even be able to smell the fragrance of Jannah, of paradise. And if that is the case, then of course that means then if she's not even able to smell the fragrance, then obviously she'll not be able to enter it. And these are the women who are clothed yet naked. So what does that mean? That means that they may be covered, but they are wearing revealing clothing or tight clothing that shows off their body and the figure, which all defeats the purpose of modesty. Now, the Prophet ﷺ has given us this serious warning, and this is not to scare us, but it's like a wake-up call for us. In today's world, social media glamorizes, the immodesty and wearing or revealing clothing. Women feel pressured to be modern or feel liberated, feel like they're free. Some women stop wearing the hijab because they want that validation from people or men, and they feel like they're not attractive enough. Right now, I just want to quickly show you a clip from a video of a woman who was wearing the hijab before, and I think she's a revert, and then she stopped wearing the hijab because she wanted to just see, because she thought that her life would become better and like people would stop judging and she would feel more attractive that way. But then she talks about her experience a year later when she puts her hijab back on. So I just want us to listen to this, and this is coming from a woman who has actually done it. So she's removed the hijab and then put it back on because of the experience and the way she felt. So let's take a look.
I've noticed lots of women are removing hijab. I took it off a couple years ago. Well, 5 years ago. And let me tell you what I learned when I took it off. So for the first week, I felt like I finally fit in with society. I felt invisible. I felt pretty. Then that week went by, and the guilt hit me like a truck. I realized that I legit chased the dunya over the akhirah. And then when I went to go visit people that actually cared about me, they were like, girl, why did you do that? Why did you take the hijab off? Like, that is our obligation. So I told myself I'm going to keep it off for 12 months, like a whole year. And I did that. And I could not wait for the day I was going to put my hijab back on. I was so excited. I bought new hijab. As a person that removed it and gained nothing but guilt from it, I don't recommend. You're prettier with your hijab on. For real. There is a glow about hijabis. Like, I've never seen an ugly hijabi. Do not chase the dunya when we know just a little bit of what the akhirah is going to be. And it's beautiful and free, and we get to do whatever we want. So we just had to pass this test called life.
Now, just to explain to you how just because something becomes common, it doesn't mean that it's right to do. You know, if we see a hijabi woman take off the hijab, it doesn't mean that, okay, you see that video and you're like, okay, that's okay to do then because, you know, she has taken it off. So, okay, it's okay to take it off and let me try it out as well. That's not how it works. If you have taken off the hijab or you're struggling with it and having such thoughts of taking it off, then I'm not attacking you. I'm here to support you and advise you. Just remember that Allah loves you enough to, you know, He made you watch this video, and inshallah it's a means of guidance for you. Even if you're struggling with other things, try to really hold on to the hijab. And remember that Allah sees your efforts and Allah is appreciating all that effort that you do, and you will be rewarded for it, inshallah. I just wanted to give some practical advice on things that you can do if you're struggling with wearing the hijab or you have removed it and you are thinking of putting it back on. So things that you can do is, for example, surrounding yourself with sisters who would encourage you and who do wear the hijab so that you feel encouraged to wear it and they could uplift you. Try to, if you are doing so, try to unfollow any accounts that it makes you want to uncover or it makes you think about uncovering. Another important thing is remind yourself of why you're wearing the hijab in the first place, or if you were already wearing it, why you started wearing it. The last thing, but very important as well, is to keep making dua to Allah to keep you consistent in this. If you are thinking of wearing the hijab and you're not yet, then you can start taking small steps towards, you know, becoming more modest. So, you know, if you're wearing short sleeves, try to, you know, start wearing long sleeves. Just taking small steps towards becoming more modest, like wearing more modest clothing like that, and then eventually try wearing the hijab. It really feels empowering. And like nobody can see your hair except for the people you allow to, because obviously we know hair is a form of beauty as well. At the end of the day, just remember that it's not about society and what people think and what people want you to do. You know, many people just say, oh, take off the hijab, why are you wearing? Some people are like generally curious. They ask you questions like, why wearing the headscarf? They're generally curious, but I think you can tell like when they're curious and when they're mocking you. But then if you think that they're genuinely asking you, so then you just answer kindly and explain to them, first of all, this is the command of my Lord, that's why I'm doing it. And then there is many other benefits. Try to ignore all the negative comments that people have. Muslims now, instead of being encouraging towards one another and advising sincerely, they just like to be judgmental when they themselves are not even practicing enough. So this is another reason why you should ignore them, because you don't know how they are in the first place, and they're just giving the unsolicited advice which nobody even asked for in the first place. So just ignore them. Don't underestimate the value of your hijab. Don't let people tell you that it's something small and you can just take it all. The last thing I wanted to mention is just two beautiful short hadith that remind us about beauty of covering up and modesty and the hijab. The first one is that modesty is a branch of faith, meaning haya. It being a branch of faith, it just shows how important it is and how big of a part it plays in Islam for us Muslims. Another hadith is that every religion has a distinct characteristic, and the characteristic of Islam is haya. Again, just signifies how important and how big of a part it plays in our religion. So it's not something to be taken lightly, and it's not something small at all. And especially the Quran verse where we are clearly told to cover up and be modest. I don't know why it considered something so small and trivial, but in reality it is a huge part of our religion, and as Muslims it's part of our character. It should be deeply rooted inside us. May Allah guide us all, and may Allah keep us steadfast in wearing the hijab, and for whoever is struggling, may Allah help us all. If you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll try my best to answer. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to make these videos reach more people who can benefit from them, inshallah, and I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.